managing this carbon trade and who really profit out of it. All these people are Bilderbergers. They made a profit, and it's a thing that they will push forward for another decade or 2 decades before it gets probably. And it's just one big part of their agenda.
That's probably a classic.
There it is. In the 1990s, the early 1990s, when they first decided global warming is a wonderful issue for us. There, the smokestack industries, where they decided they could make a few bucks, carry everybody into a fear of flag.
Yeah, it really is fear-mongering in a way. Even if it had a little bit of truth to it, I think they exaggerated it. The issue you just brought up is a good one, and I think that's classic Bilderberg. Let's come up with a scenario, let's plan this general trend, and then let's actually implement it. Hence the carbon trade. And there's always a double whammy to what they do. There's financial profit and political gain. Financial profit, political gain.
And how they implement it always through media.
Yeah, and they use the media to create the scenario that may have some truth to it. And they may even have some noble aspirations in some parts of it. But there's always the profit, the private profit, and the political gain to go hand in hand, and you kind of get the smell of it from that. You know.
Where does the flu pandemic come into it? So-called flu pandemic.
I'm not sure who they scheduled next one.
I guess if you were Sherlock Holmes, you'd look at the flu pandemic and say it follows the same modus operandi. Create a fearful scenario that a lot of people would tend to go along with. They might get a little squeamish, but they'll bend your way. Just like global warming, it's an all-encompassing fear. We're all going to die of a germ, or we're all going to burn to death. So it's a slightly intangible, all-encompassing fear. It has the same characteristics. And then if you believe in what the Georgia Guidestones say in America, some of you might know what those are. If you believe in the idea that to cull the herd, they would cut the human population by enormous amounts through some engineered pandemic, and I'm not saying that's true or false, this is a thesis, a theory, then you would maybe come up with a germ or the antidote to the germ, like a flu vaccine that would be intended to possibly get rid of a lot of people. But I don't know that that stuff is true. I think they plant urban legends to get us to believe things, to make us look silly, perhaps.
It might have been an exercise. One exercise.
Yeah, a psychological.
The next stage is yet to come.
A psychological exercise. Maybe it was largely a red herring to see how people would behave.
Yeah.
Well, when the swine flu first emerged a couple of years ago,
yeah,
Bill Gerry tried out to say this will help us get our world environmental health, and they started predicting correctly that so many thousand people will die. Well, then it's sort of the fact caught up with it is. So I love to say this, but good reporters do some research. 300,000 Americans die every year.
And that many or more die of doctor and surgical accidents and exposures in hospitals, where they're literally trying to be saved or helped. More of them die of that, according to a good source, Scott Tips of the National Health Federation, who gave a great overview of Codex Alimentarius.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And this meeting where they're trying to categorize normal health supplements as banned drugs or something, while at the same time pharmaceutical drugs are pushed, and what used to be pharmaceutical or prescription drugs are now over the counter and are easier and easier to get. So they want us to take more pharmaceuticals and yet ban vitamin E or some silly thing. But yeah. The whole totality of it is just this mindset of top-down engineering. But, psychological programming comes out of fear. And
it's like that old Laetrile. Remember that?
Laetrile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, scientists acknowledge they cannot hurt you at all. What was it? A little bit of oatmeal, so I forgot what it was. Perfectly harmless. Okay? It's perfectly harmless. Well, we don't care if you say it doesn't help you. Our opinion is it just it's good class is good. Now the late Sir Hubert Humphrey had brain cancer.
Oh.
And he went to Mexico to get Laetrile. He couldn't get it here.
Yeah.
But yet as a certified figure, he was opposed to Laetrile until he got brain cancer. He went to Mexico to get Laetrile.
Well, could you spell hypocrite any better than that?
No, for Dave's age.
That's amazing.
What?
Just one second. It's great to be here, and we like maybe to spend some more time in Saturday or Sunday. But there is a strike at 7 o'clock that we have to go in Sitges.
Oh, sure.
And demonstration. And
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you were so interested in what we had to say.
Before finish also, FN News also wants to private interview, and they are here.
Who?
Yes, the more important agency of.
Oh, okay.
Is waiting there also.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay, I didn't know that anyone was
Can I
waiting.
have another question? I believe, just a minute, that every Bilderberg conference is followed by some kind of news boom. Something new is launched over the media.
Yeah, Jim could answer that better than me, but generally that is a pattern, whatever it might be.
What do you think? Do you have any hunch in what kind of direction this one might be?
Well, they still want the United States to conduct airstrikes against Iraq. We're still covering that with oath because dear little Israel feels threatened. Israel's had nuclear weapons since at least 1962. First reported by Bilderberg and George Ball years ago.
Interesting, yeah, I recall that.
Now, Israel, there was side oath and never confirmed or denied it has it. That they definitely have nukes and have had to the years. In fact, some people think that his assassination may in some way be connected to the fact that he is pressuring Israel to defuse.
So there's the military action against Iran, the World Treasury under IMF, World Health under WHO. These are distinct probabilities. But, you know, we're talking about it now. There's more exposure. Those are big hills to climb even for them. And
not a bad amount of information for day one.
Yeah. This thing is barely getting started yet. We still got people to hide in duck blinds and pretend they're a tree, perhaps. It's going to be quite a interesting next few days. I think Jim was going to take a hang glider up over the Dulce. If I'm not mistaken. I wish I had a pair of wings. I'll tell you, man, it's just ridiculous. Trying to see what's going on. Anyway, there was somebody else waiting, or somebody.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.